What's up everyone? So today I'm down at Maserati Lotus Greenville and behind me is a 2017 Honda Civic. Huge shout out to them for providing this car for me today. I'll have a link to their website down in the description below. And the model that we're looking at today is the Type R. It's finished off in gloss black and has an asking price just over $44,000. Under the hood is a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine. This is only paired to a 6-speed manual transmission and also offers rev matching downshifts. This engine produces 306 horsepower at 6,500 RPM and 295 pound-feet of torque at 2,500 RPM with up to 22.8 pounds of boost. This is front-wheel drive with a limited slip, weighs around 3,100 pounds, 0 to 60 can happen in 5 seconds. It also has a top speed of 170 miles an hour, and with a fuel capacity of 12.4 gallons, you can expect the MPG to be 22 in the city and 28 on the highway. The wheelbase measures 106.3 inches. It has an overall length of 179.4 inches. The width is 73.9 and it has a height of 56.5 inches. Starting up front with a black row with the red badging, which helps differentiate this from a standard Civic. This comes with LED headlights and fog lights with a parking sensor on each side of the fog light. There's large mesh grille opening in the lower section of the bumper to provide more cooling to the engine, along with a carbon fiber front splitter with more of the red trim. There's a nice hood scoop for an aggressive look with more nice lines coming down the hood. This also offers a dual axis front limited slip, which helps eliminate torque steer. Moving on to the side, this features 20 by 8.5 inch cast aluminum wheels wrapped in Continental Sport Contact 6 summer tires. 4-wheel disc brakes are in all 4 corners with 4-piston Brembo calipers up front, measuring 13.8 inches. They are also cross-drilled rotors as well, with single-piston 12-inch sliding calipers in the rear. This offers an adaptive suspension with 3 different driving modes. The mirrors are body-colored as well. There's a nice side fender vent behind the front tire, more carbon fiber on the side skirt along with the red trim piece, and very clean lines running along the door. And finishing up in the rear with a massive rear wing, LED taillights, standard backup camera, and 2 parking sensors. A quasi stainless steel exhaust with the outer 2 bypassing the resonator, the center one goes through it. There's functional aerodynamic pieces above the window and on each side of the bumper, which give it an aggressive look throughout, and more carbon fiber along the rear portion of the bumper with more of the red trim. And now with the key, we'll go ahead and take a more in-depth view of the interior, and as long as I have the key on me, I'll just place my hand in the door handle. You'll hear it automatically unlock. The door panel is finished off in suede on the armrest. There's more of the red trim pieces along with red stitching and a carbon fiber-like material. Side window controls along with lock and unlock and the side mirror adjustments. A little bit of storage space down below with a 12-speaker sound system. The R badge down on the door sill also lights up when you open the door. It's hard to see during the day, but that is a cool touch to see. Moving inside now to the sport bucket seats, finished off in red and black suede with Type R embossed in the top with 2 nice cutouts on each side. More white and red stitching running along each bolsters. They provide a lot of support. Very nice bolstering down on the bottom as well. Type R is down on the floor mat, looks really good. These have a 6-way adjustability along with manual forward and back. Once inside, I'll go ahead and double tap on the engine start stop button to show you all the electronics. And with my foot on the brake and clutch, we'll go ahead and start it up. Once inside, we're greeted with a fully wrapped black leather steering wheel with more red stitching on the top and more red trim pieces down on the bottom. To the right is all of the cruise control buttons. On the left side is all of the Bluetooth. These control the center screen. So using those buttons on the left side of the steering wheel, we can go through a couple different things. We can change from miles per hour to kilometers per hour, look at Bluetooth, music. We can look at oil life, go over to compass, your fuel gauge. There's a stopwatch, a G meter. We can also look at some shift lights, go over to boost, and a couple other settings that you can look at, so very easy to use. Looking at the center gauge setup again, you have the engine temperature on the left side, tach right in the center, and then the fuel gauge on the right. To the left of the steering wheel, you can turn on and off traction control, more of the carbon fiber-like material with 1 air vent, and of course the red trim pieces. That continues on into the center. Now we'll take a look at the 7-inch touchscreen display screen. So on the home screen now, we can go to navigation and view that full screen so you can see how that looks. We can go through your audio, your phone, go to different settings that you can configure with your clock, your camera, other system and vehicle information as well. Using the volume button for the radio, we can just swipe on this up and down or touch on the screen itself. Very easy to use. Below that is the climate control button, so we can view that screen. This does offer dual zone climate as well, so we can control the driver and passenger side and easily hit the fan speed of what we'd like the air to be. To the left is the engine start stop button as well. In between those dials, there's the front and rear defroster along with a couple other AC controls. Nice little storage bin in front of the shifter. And in front of this storage bin, there's another cubby spot with a 12-volt and USB for even more storage space. This is a 6-speed manual, nice aluminum shift knob, more leather with the red stitching. If we put this over to the right and into reverse, you'll see the backup camera light up. There's a narrow angle, a wide angle, and then looking straight down at the ground. Behind the shifter, there's the electronic parking brake and brake hold, along with a Type R badge in the center. 3 different driving modes, which I'll get to later in this video. Beneath that, there's a very deep center console. You have 2 cup holders. You can slide this back to reveal another cup holder and a USB port. We can slide that forward. Behind that is the center armrest, which you can move forward and back. Also, open that up for even more storage space behind that. So definitely a lot of room in the center console. Looking at the glove box now, definitely a lot more room as well. More of that nice red trim and carbon fiber material above that. We'll take another look at these beautiful red seats. Gives it a really nice touch on the inside. And then up top you have both of the dome lights. Now we'll go ahead and take a look at the rear seating. The door panel is finished off like up front with more red stitching, a little bit of storage space, and 1 speaker. This is a 4-seater, so let's go ahead and hop in. The back portion of the front seats has a nice carbon fiber-like material on it, gives it a very nice look. There's 2 cup holders and a little storage bin in the center of the seats. At the front seats, set at my height 5'10", I definitely have a lot of legroom. I have plenty of headroom too, so it's not crammed back in here, especially with just 2 seats. Here's a view out of the rear with the massive wing. There's also another speaker right next to the headrest. Red seat belts in the back as well. The seats also offer a 60-40 split to them, so with this one folded flat, you can see just how much more room you have. In this hatchback, you can easily put anything in the back here that you need. Now we'll go ahead and take a look at the rear trunk space in the Type R. I can either hold the button on the key fob or walk up to the car right under the H badge, just click on that electronic button. This has plenty of storage space being a hatchback. There's 25 cubic feet of storage space with the seats up and 46 cubic feet with the seats down. You can also remove this cover if you want even more space to put anything in the back that you need. And with the seats folded flat, you can see just how much more room there is. Up top, there's 2 grab handles, so we can go ahead and grab on one of those to close it up. So getting the Type R out on the road now, this is the first time I've driven a front-wheel drive car like this, especially with this much horsepower. The last car that I drove similar to this was a 2015 STI, and of course that is all-wheel drive. So it's going to be interesting to see how this performs just being front-wheel drive. Coming up to a turn now, this has active rev matching downshifts, which is cool to be able to have. Give it a little bit of gas. Oh, wow. Woo! That definitely got up to speed really well. I'm not going too crazy on it, but this is handling really well so far. I have it in sport mode. I'll go ahead and put it up into plus R mode, which is really cool to see on the dash. There's 3 different driving modes, again, using that selector in the center. There's comfort, sport, and then the plus R mode. A little bit of turbo lag, but I'm not getting on it like really hard, so that's to be expected. But again, it definitely gets up and moves. This is a really comfortable car to be behind the wheel as well. These seats have aggressive bolsters to them. They just fit you so well. I could easily see this being a daily driver for sure. This is also a very easy car to drive too. The shifter is very precise, very short throws to it, so you know exactly what gear you're going into. And the clutch itself is very light. The bite point in it is very easy to get to, so it's not a long clutch pedal or anything like that. Super easy to use. You won't get very tired in your left leg. It's very easy to push in. Of course, having the rev matching downshifts can help you too. It's more fun to do it yourself, obviously, but that's definitely cool to have. Moving on to the visibility now. Being a hatchback, this definitely has a lot of openness to the inside. There's not too many blind spots in this car, which is nice to see. Looking over your left and right shoulder, the C-pillars back there are a bit bulky, but having a large glass on each side of that, you're really not gonna have an issue with that. Even using your side mirror, you can easily see around that. Looking out of the rear glass, I just noticed too, there's actually 2 pieces of glass. There's the upper portion, and then there's one on each side. They're kind of level to the headrests from my perspective looking at them. So that gives you a lot more visibility to see closer to the ground, especially from the driver's seat. If you're backing up, you can easily see more. So comparing this now to other cars in its class, this is kind of competing towards the STI, the Evo, and the Focus RS. All of those are all-wheel drive, so this is the only one that is front-wheel drive. But this does have the front limited slip and torque vectoring system to be able to handle the amount of horsepower that it has. So if I was able to get this on more twisty roads, I'd be able to see how well this car would perform being just front wheel drive. But so far, taking some turns, I mean, I'm not going fast enough to be able to tell, but you can definitely put this where you want it. There's not a lot of torque steer or understeer that I can feel so far in this test drive, but obviously I'm not putting it to the test or anything like that. But I mean, wow, it's definitely quick. It's not super loud or anything compared to some of the other cars, but boy, does it get up and move. For weighing just above 3,000 pounds, this is definitely a fun car. So we're coming up to another turn here, kind of a hard right, not going too fast. Wow. I mean, this car was solid and planted around that entire turn. I didn't feel any understeer or anything like that. Going about 40 miles an hour, just the normal speed around these roads, and that had plenty of power to get out. I wish I could take it on a couple more back roads, but so far I'm impressed with front wheel drive car nowadays, the technology that they can put into these cars and what you can do. It definitely gives you the ability to be able to just have front wheel drive and not have to have all wheel drive. The only downside is that you're not able to take this car where the all wheel drive cars can go, like in the snow or something like that. But still, I mean, this is a great handling car for just front wheel drive. Moving on to all of the materials on the inside now. For the price that you're paying for this car, when they were brand new, I think the dealer markup was closer to $60,000. It was definitely in the high $50,000 range. But for a 2017 with a little over 800 miles on it, this is going for the mid $40,000 range. All of the materials on the inside are what you would expect for that price. You have leather on the steering wheel, nice suede seats. They really are comfortable. I really like all the texture and the material to them with all the stitching and everything. You have the carbon fiber accents. It's not real carbon fiber, but to me, I think it looks really good with the red trim pieces. Definitely gives it a nice touch. You have the red seat belts. Everything is just really nice and premium feeling in this car. The center screen and setup is probably one of the ones I've seen that has the least amount of buttons to it. That's something that I prefer. You're not having to figure out which button does what. Everything is readily available for you. They're nicely laid out on the right side of the screen, so you can easily click on those quickly to go to what you want. I feel like this is a driver-focused car. Even though it is a hatchback, it has 4 seats, very minimal buttons in the center. You have the tach right in the middle of the gauge setup too, so that way you can easily see that. There is a shift gear indicator as well, so you know what gear you're in. You don't have to worry about looking down at that. So while you can fit 3 other people in here with you and put anything in here that you need with being able to fold the seats down, this is a driver-focused car that you can take out on back roads, take turns like that. There is a shift light too that comes up, so when you get into the higher RPM, it'll show you and it'll light up across the board, which is really cool to see. You don't have to worry about the tach. You see all the shift lights light up as you're getting higher up in the speed. It's definitely cool, more of that driver engagement, so you can really have fun with this car. It's just a ball to drive. Of the 3, this is the lowest in the price range for being close to brand new. It also still has over 300 horsepower. So what do you guys think you would choose? This, an STI, or an Evo? Personally, like I've already mentioned before, this is a really, really comfortable car to drive. It's a lot more comfortable, in my opinion, than the other 2 cars. So I could definitely see this being the easier daily driver to have. The only downside that I've seen so far is it's a 4-seater. The other cars are 5-seater, which gives you another room for another person. Now it's time to take one last look from the passenger side. Very nice suede material on the door. I like the carbon fiber and the red trim pieces. Obviously matches the red seats very well. Gives it a really nice look. Clean center. Of course, the 6-speed manual has a nice aluminum shift knob. Take another look at the rear seating with all of them folded down so you can see it from this perspective. Definitely a lot of room in the back. So that is my walk around review and test drive of the 2017 Honda Civic Type R. Huge shout out again to Maserati Lotus Greenville for providing this car for me today. Definitely a really cool car to check out, really comfortable, has plenty of power. You can store anything in here that you need, definitely a cool car. If you guys enjoyed that video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next video.